What's going on, everybody? We are Black at it again. It is Mallblack Everything Show. My name is James.
I'm Yerk.
Auntie Mia, hey y'all.
We are here back for another week to talk about just what's going on in our community, what's going on with people of color, what's going on in the world, in our own ways, and just give our side, our perspective, and just figure out what's going on. A big story that happened this week was Haiti.
Yeah.
It's been a crazy outrage. A video came out. Border Patrol agents at the border of Texas on horseback whipping Haitian refugees with whips, and it just looked like, you know, don't cross that line, boy.
Yeah.
You know, it looked like slave master going back to get his property.
Django Unchained 2.
It looked
Yeah.
like
Volume 2.
all two live version.
Oh.
You know, it was crazy.
Okay.
Just the initial. Did you see the picture?
I did see the picture.
Okay.
I mean,
What was your initial thoughts? Like just from the, because for me it was outrage. I was like, whoa.
and not to confuse with Maya's single. It was, you know what? I don't want to say I'm desensitized. Like I feel like I'm not surprised anymore by these behaviors. You know, I don't condone it because we're all human beings. We all should be treated with respect. That's a big thing for me. But I'm not surprised, and to be honest, I'm kind of conflicted on it because I know they're trying to, you know, to come here, which I can understand why.
Yeah.
But at the same time, playing devil's advocate, you know, the U.S., we got a lot of issues as is, and I'm all about helping the next person, but at the same time, we got to help ourselves. Like, this world is an array, and Mia, as you were saying off camera about us being, you know, close to bankruptcy and all that, like, we really got to get ourselves together. So the question is that, you know, where is France? Where are the other companies stepping up trying to help them? Why does it typically fall on us to do this? Why is another country stepping up to help them? But it's just, for me, it's unfortunate that they had to go through that. So.
I mean, we talked about it. I think it's about a continent thing, right? These people are right off of the shores of this huge, large continent called America, North and South. They make their way to South America, and generally, just the advertisement that America puts out is that it's lit here, and so no one is going to stay in South America. They're going to try to go for better. Everybody, I believe, wants better for their life.
Right.
And to get here and be treated like that, what is the response from those people, right? I was just like, yo, you giving us a bad name when you do that. Now, granted, I know we got a whole bunch of bad names.
Yeah.
We got a lot of bad press on what and how we treat people of color in this country. And it's not, it's okay, he was doing his job, or, you know, we're past that, and so don't put the same connotation. It's like, no, things like that are traumatizing, and it'll bring you back to movies that you've seen, because I didn't personally live through it, but to think any of it was true, and then to see it in a today's resolution, shot at 60 frames per rate and 30 frames per second and all that other stuff, you'd be like, yo, this is still happening? They're still looking at people, and opposed to like just talking to them. And maybe there's a language barrier. I'm not against the idea that there's a language barrier, but just talking to people, and, you know, or finding another way. This was one case. This was one picture. Mm-hmm. It wasn't the whole story. Mm-hmm. I don't want to harp on that, but it's the story that the media ran with.
Of course.
And it sucked.
Nah, I mean, like I said, it's unfortunate, but I'm a little conflicted, you know, on it due to the things that I mentioned before. Man, what do you think about it? What are your thoughts?
So this is such a complex issue, for a lot of reasons, right? If we talk about, you know, the teacher and me, the history of Haiti. Haiti shares an island with the Dominican Republic.
Yeah.
And so
like half of it, right?
The issue is that these are a group of people who this isn't just new to them. They've always been treated like this. Mm-hmm. Because if you go to the island of Hispaniola, which is both of them, it's the two countries together is on one island. There is a literal line and there is a huge financial, political, governmental line. There's a huge cultural line. There's a huge social line where, because they are who they are, because they are of African descent and Dominicans,
true, they're a lot more Latino,
right? And they can, because they attribute their darkness to the Taino Native Americans, and it's really not that. You
just gotta realize when them boats came, they landed everywhere on the west,
right?
and that was a part of it. They landed on that island, and that's why they have that color scan.
Yes.
So you can Afro-Latino it all you want, and I salute all the Afro-Latinos out there, but don't forget the Afro part. But continue. I'm sorry.
Part. So it's a situation where they have always been seen as second class, even even at home, right?
Even at home.
Even at home.
Yeah.
And so what you see is a people who have nothing to lose.
Yeah.
Because this is what we deal with at home. So I'd rather get beat or try to rush the border somewhere where there is people to protect us than to still be living in the same kind of way.
But to come to the border and then not receive that protection that you so thought you were going to get is kind of disheartening,
So this is how I feel about that. Border Patrol in the last 10 years has gone over a huge revamp and rehaul, and that's because of Republican leadership. The emphasis on the Mexican border has created situations where we did the only way to describe it would be like come on, come all job fairs over the last 10 years for Border Patrol.
Yeah, who want to do it?
Yeah.
We'll give you a gun.
What we've seen in Border Patrol is the same thing we're seeing in our local police departments. It's the same thing we're seeing in this country with institutional racism. It's not that I believe that they hired a bunch of good old boys to be Border Patrol. The issue is you are highly untrained for people who are in this kind of state. True. These people who are in this kind of emergency, you don't understand it.
Nope.
You're overwhelmed because it wasn't 5 or 10 Haitians, it was thousands.
Absolutely.
Like we all got the email and we are rushing this U.S. border.
And some of them have been traveling for years.
Yeah.
3 years, I've heard. Yeah. So there is some backstory to this. Talking to a friend of mine, Millie Harris, last night. She was giving me a rundown of what happened in Haiti a long time ago. So Haiti, in the time of slavery, they completely wiped out all possibility of white ownership on that land, right? They defeated their slave masters. They found refuge there, and they said, nobody white of a different skin color than the ones that are here can own land on this portion of the island, right? And so what happened then was that all other white nations was like, okay, tariffs, blocking you here, closing borders. You can't, we're gonna make it tougher for this country to grow. So Haiti has always been a poor nation, right? But then that huge earthquake happened years ago.
Right.
When that huge earthquake happened, now America puts its cape on and ties it up and lets it flow in the wind, and say, we are here to help Haiti, here we are, right? And so what they did is that they still didn't do it properly, but they gave Haiti, and this from my perspective, they gave Haiti a sense of, there's a savior country. There's a country that can look out for us. So automatically you pay attention to American news a little bit more.
Right.
And there have been mixed messages. There was a great piece that The Daily Show put out.
So I get how this could be confusing. And also, if any of those Haitians had been watching Fox News, well, that's probably another reason that they thought now was a really good time to come.
If Joe Biden's elected president, I think the only thing that'll be open will be the jails and the borders.
The Biden administration has actually been crystal clear, and their message is our borders are open and come on in.
The Biden administration has an open border policy.
The Democrats today support open
borders. There's been mixed messages about what will happen when you come to the border. From President Biden's lips, from the Republicans' lips, from President Biden's lips, from the Republicans' lips, have said you can find refuge here in America. And if you took those clips or you took those moments that somebody was watching, and then now you're telling your nieces and you're telling your aunts and you're telling your uncles, we got to make this trip up to America. It is possible refuge for us, and then you hear things that happen with Afghanistan. They're coming because their city, their towns, their country is in disarray. Yeah. It happens, and we have to actually just watch the messaging we're putting out. Because you can't say, all right, cool, you can come. Or it could be misinterpreted like, cool, you can come. And then when you get here, I get on a horse and I whip you. It's just one of those tough things that we're all kind of dealing with. What do you think? We'd love to hear your perspective on what is happening at the Haitian border. Do we have it right? Did we get it all wrong? Who knows? Are we a little off? We want to hear your perspective of it, because we don't. This is not something that's seemingly going to end. It's definitely something that will continue to happen unless we correct it or rectify it.
Yeah, and it's if you put it in terms that everyone can understand, it's a situation where you have, where you're doing well, right? Like, let's say you come from a background where, you had to pull yourself up. And you're the middle class one in a family full of people who are working class. Mm-hmm. And so what happens is everybody starts to think you got it, right? Mm-hmm. And so everybody is calling you.
Of course.
And when somebody gets put out of their house, when somebody
they at your door,
bill paid, and I'm sounding so Republican, so left wing right now, but the truth right wing right now. But the truth of the matter is, the reason why they come is because America has one of the weakest borders in the entire world. You cannot go into other countries the way you come here. And there are certain people who realize and understand this is a problem, right? And so what I want to see, and my opinion of this, is that America needs to stop fronting. We need to be real about who we are and what we have and what we can do. There are things that we can do to help the world. What we are rich in is civil and personal liberty. What we are not rich in is natural resources and finances. We don't have it.
So do you think it would be a great issue? Let's talk beyond the politic portion of it, right?
Yeah.
Let's just give a scenario. Scenario is that America says, okay, we're going to let people in.
Yeah.
And we're going to utilize these people's resources to make our country better. Is that something that could be done, or is that just creating a bigger mess?
I feel like that's a really good start. What I think that we could do as the leaders, as the world leaders, because everyone looks to us, is to pull the other parts of the world in. This is the problem that we have.
So it needs to become like a United Nations issue.
It absolutely does. Why do we have that if we're always the ones that are solving all the problems?
Yeah.
So this is what we're going to do. We're going to spearhead the effort to find places for this displaced group of people.
Gotcha.
But it's not here all the time.
Yeah.
I agree with that. That makes perfect sense.
So
100%. Everything you guys said was great. I was a little disturbed by you focusing on Joe Biden's lips. I typically listen to voices, but if lips is your priority, like I said, it's 2021. I'm not here to judge, ladies and gentlemen. So you like it, I love it. I just had to touch on that briefly.
To get to touch on his lips?
It was just a lot. You kept talking about lips, and that was your primary focus was the lips. Typically, people listen to the voice and the message, but everyone has their, has their guilty pleasure, I suppose. But nonetheless, let's proceed on.
Don't hit my decorations, man.
It was just a lot for me personally. It might not have been a whole lot for you, but that's just me. Different.
All right, that's it.
All right.
I want you guys to remember this, that we support black businesses. And our best way we can do it is by featuring you on our show.
Absolutely. And even if you are camera shy, maybe interviewing is not your thing, next week when you join us, I'm going to start our Black Buy of the Week. And if you guys have seen anything about season 1, I love to shop and I love to shop black. So maybe you can't do the interview, or maybe that's not your thing, but we still want to be there for you. We still want to support you. So send us your products and we pay for it. We not those people that ask for it for free. Send me your commercials, send me your sales. Yeah. And we would love to pull your products out of our Black Buy of the Week bag.
We're all about helping the next person. So to piggyback on what they're saying, please hit us up. Forget about that camera shot. You sell on a product that could be a positive influence in the world. Get your behind on camera. I'm just going to say, let us interview you. Let us, market your product. Let's work together and let's improve the world. Okay, so forget all that shyness. You need to email us. We got on IG, we're on Facebook. James is on OnlyFans. That's a whole different conversation. But come on.
We all got our lives.
New season.
We all got our lives.
We are keep going, keep growing. We're in a mindset. Let's do this together. So hit us up. Let's do this.
We love to support you. And what we need is your information. We need to know, where should we go and buy? What products do we need? What products are we trying to promote? Well, this is where you come in. I need you to reach out to us. Hit us up in our email. Hit us up on our social media. Direct message us. Let us know what we can do, because we want to support you. And we need your websites. We need your commercials. We want to feature you on this show. We thank you, and we cannot wait to support your business.